Hello and welcome to our UNSW Business School Information Evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Hannah Carr and I work in the Future Students team here at UNSW Sydney. Tonight I am coming to you from our Kensington campus and would like to pay my respects to the Bedegal people who are the traditional owners of this land. UNSW is located across the unceded territory of the Bedegal, Gadigal and Ngunnawal peoples, who are the traditional owners of the lands where each of our campuses are situated. Tonight, I'm going to be joined by a few special guests to give you the information that you need to make an informed decision about your future studies. You can also join in on the conversation by asking us a question. We have some of our friendly student advisors online ready to respond to your questions, and I'll also be asking some of your questions in a panel discussion a little later on. But before we get into that, I thought I would share some of the reasons why UNSW Business School is one of the top choices for the best and brightest business minds here in Australia and across the world. We're the #1 business school for the second year in a row. We've been named as Australia's #1 business school by the Australian Financial Review in 2022 and 2023. UNSW Business School is globally ranked and recognised, ranked first in Australia and 21st worldwide for finance and accounting, and first in Sydney and in the top 42 worldwide for both business and management and economics. These global rankings mean your UNSW degree will be recognised and respected by employers across the world. One of the highlights of studying at UNSW Business School is our engaged and connected student cohort, a group of peers who will become friends, colleagues, and maybe even future co-founders. You'll be able to connect with like-minded students through classes, social events, and our vibrant club and society life here on campus. As a business school student, you'll learn both in the classroom and in industry, with exclusive work-integrated learning experiences through UNSW Business School's Career Accelerator. You can undertake industry experiences for credit, which means you could do an internship, a consulting project, or global business practicum as one of your subjects. You can also tailor your skills through not-for-credit experiences like networking, mentoring, and exclusive business events. This winning combination of reputation, rigour, and real-world experience has led to our graduates being awarded Australia's Most Employable for the last 5 years in a row. And now, to find out more about the different programs you can study at UNSW Business School, I'd like to introduce Associate Professor Kevin Liu.
Hello, my name is Associate Professor Kevin Liu, and I'm the Associate Dean Undergraduate here at UNSW Business School. Now that you have heard all about what makes UNSW a great place to study business and the exciting career paths a business degree can open up, I'm going to share some details about the programs you can study to get you there. We offer 5 undergraduate study options at UNSW Business School. It is important to note that all of those programs include opportunities to undertake career accelerator, exchange, and access to your global alumni network once you graduate. The Bachelor of Commerce, Bachelor of Actuarial Studies, Bachelor of Economics, and Bachelor of Information Systems can also be studied as double degrees, with options to combine your degree with another business school degree or choose a program from another faculty, like the Bachelor of Computer Science, Bachelor of Laws, and Bachelor of Arts. There are over 30 double degree options. Our flagship undergraduate degree is the Bachelor of Commerce. This degree has been co-designed with industry and offers you broad business acumen with the option to become a specialist in particular areas depending on your chosen major. Students who study the Bachelor of Commerce have a broad range of career outcomes, generally linked to the major they study. Some of the most popular roles for BCom graduates include things like accountant, analyst, consultant, HR consultant, investment banker, or marketing manager. There are 14 different majors in the Bachelor of Commerce, and you can choose to study 1 or 2 full majors. Studying 2 majors doesn't add any extra time onto your degree. It just means that you take a second major instead of studying elective courses. Here at UNSW Business School, we offer traditional majors such as accounting, finance, and marketing, as well as some future-focused majors including business analytics, cybersecurity management, and innovation, strategy, and entrepreneurship. In addition to majors, there are 4 key components that make UNSW BCom unique to other Bachelor of Commerce or Bachelor of Business degrees in Australia and across the world. The first is our integrated first year. This is an innovative and award-winning approach to studying core business courses that UNSW has developed and pioneered alongside our business industry partners. While traditional business degrees offer a range of Introduction to courses in their first year, UNSW business schools integrated first year courses focus on transdisciplinary problem solving, greater reflecting what is expected of graduates in the real world. For example, instead of studying a course like Introduction to Finance, you will study Value Creation, which explores how business use finance, accounting, marketing, and information systems together to create real organizational value. The second key feature is the award-winning MyBecome platform. This is a digital portfolio that allows you to plan your study, track your skill development, and share tangible examples to future employers, allowing you to plan for and become well-rounded business graduate. You're also guaranteed a work-integrated learning experience as part of your program. This could be through something like a university-sourced internship, a global business practicum, or could be through undertaking placements in certain double degrees. You can choose which work-integrated learning experience best fits your career goals and aspirations. And rest assured that you will graduate with real experience on your resume and in your MyBecome. One of the final courses you will do will be Final Year Synthesis. This is a course that brings together all of the concepts you have learned in your degree, and could be something practical like work-integrated learning, or could be an academic-based course. You don't have to choose your exact path at the beginning of your degree, and there are always support network to help you plan your studies as you move through your program. The Bachelor of Commerce International has the same business majors as the Bachelor of Commerce, and a range of international study streams to choose from, taken from the Faculty of Arts, Design, and Architecture. Choose to study a language, studies of a region, or broad international studies options like history and international relations. The Bachelor of Economics will give you a solid grounding in economic theory, policy, and practice, giving you specialist know-how in economics as well as a wide range of transdisciplinary skills, including analytics, financial modeling, and international development. Economics students pursue a wide range of careers, including as economist, economic advisor, financial analyst, consultant, and policy advisor. Students studying the Bachelor of Economics will study core economics courses in their first year, and then have the option to undertake further economic electives or an optional economics major. Student can also take an optional second major from the Bachelor of Commerce, meaning you can combine your economic study with specialist knowledge in areas like business analytics, finance, or international business. The Bachelor of Actuarial Studies is Australia's premier business degree, welcoming the best and brightest business minds to study actuarial science. These programs give students in-depth modeling and analytics skills, as well as broad business acumen, meaning they are well equipped to analyze business risks and opportunities across private, public, and not-for-profit sectors. Graduates may go on to become accredited actuaries, with this program accredited by the Actuaries Institute of Australia. Increasingly, graduates are also in high demand in a range of different business fields, including business analytics, data science, and investment analysis. Students studying actuarial studies take courses covering mathematics, data science, and business, and can choose from 3 optional actuarial studies majors. In addition to this, you can also take a second major from the Bachelor of Commerce with accounting, behavioral economics, business analytics, business economics, and finance the most popular. Other commerce majors and some majors from the science faculty can also be taken in this program. However, they may add additional time onto your study. Last but not least, the Bachelor of Information Systems has been designed to bridge the gap between business and technology, and will teach you the how to use technology to solve complex business problems. Graduates of this program are in high demand among industry and generally go into roles like IT consultant, business system analyst, cybersecurity consultant, and IT architect. The Bachelor of Information Systems doesn't have majors, but instead offers a range of elective streams which will allow you to focus your studies on either data analytics, programming, or organizations. Those 5 degrees are just the beginning of the wide range of programs you can study at UNSW Business School. As I mentioned earlier, we have over 30 double degrees options, both in business and in combination with a broad range of study areas across UNSW. We also offer co-op degrees in actuarial studies, information systems, and commerce, which allows students to further embed work experience into the degree and receive a scholarship and academic support. Finally, we have honors degree options for all of our programs, which will allow you to add additional honors year to your degree where you can undertake further study and research. It is my great pleasure to oversee our undergraduate programs and student experience, and I look forward to seeing you in one of our undergraduate classrooms in the near future.
Thanks, Kevin. I'd now like to introduce Saul Brady, one of our business school graduates.
Hi everyone, my name is Saul Brady and I'm a proud UNSW Business School graduate. I studied a combined Bachelor of Commerce and Bachelor of Economics degree from 2016 to 2020 and have since then been fortunate to have an interesting, challenging, yet rewarding career working as a management consultant at Strategy End. Today I want to talk to you about 3 things: the business career landscape, how UNSW prepares graduates for a successful career, and lastly, a bit about my career journey as a UNSW graduate. In today's global, complex, and dynamic world, the demand for skilled professionals in various business sectors continues to rise. Whether you're interested in finance, marketing, technology, entrepreneurship, or management, there's a wide array of career opportunities and paths to explore. Let me talk you through a few of these now. Firstly, finance. Australia boasts a robust financial sector with opportunities ranging from banking and investment to financial planning and analysis. With a strong regulatory environment, foreign investment, and a stable economy, Australia is an attractive destination for a career in finance. Then there's marketing. In today's digital age, companies are constantly seeking innovative ways to reach new customers and markets and better serve their existing customers. From digital marketing and social media to market research and branding, the opportunities in the field of marketing are exciting, creative, and endless. Entrepreneurship is also thriving in Australia, with a growing ecosystem of startups and small businesses. Whether you're passionate about technology, sustainability, or social enterprise, Australia provides a supportive environment for budding entrepreneurs to turn their ideas into reality. And then let's not forget about business management and consulting, which is the sector I work in. As businesses grow and evolve and are constantly disrupted, the need for strategic thinkers and external business advisors becomes ever more critical. It's the strategy that gets an organisation through the challenges of today and drives the results that redefine tomorrow. Whether it's looking into growth strategies, business transformation, cost reduction strategies, or innovation, there's no shortage of opportunities for those with strong leadership and problem-solving skills. Now, as you can see, there's so many avenues to explore, and finding the right path can often feel overwhelming. So you might be wondering, how do you prepare for a successful career in such a dynamic and competitive landscape? This is where I believe the UNSW Business School is truly differentiating. This is a place of innovation, excellence, and opportunity. The business school understands that education is not just about textbooks and lectures. It's about providing hands-on experiences that prepare students for the real world. Here you are offered a range of work-integrated learning opportunities that allow you to apply your knowledge in a real-world setting. For example, during my studies, I did multiple internships overseas and in Australia that counted as subjects towards my degree. I had the opportunity to participate in case competitions, mentoring and networking events, and a vast array of professional and fun student societies with like-minded students. In essence, the UNSW Business School goes beyond traditional education and focuses on empowering students to excel in their chosen fields by providing a holistic learning experience that extends beyond the classroom. Reflecting on my experiences, these opportunities accelerated my learning, allowed me to try new careers in accounting, economics and finance during my degree, and were really fundamental in shaping my career as a management consultant. So, whether you're dreaming of launching your own startup or climbing the corporate ladder, the world of business offers a diversity of opportunities for those willing to seize them. And whilst this can be challenging and confusing at times, know that studying a business degree here will support you every step of the way. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Saul. And now from a past student to one of our present students, you're going to head to our Club and Society Lounge to hear from Winnie and one of our current students, Lena.
Thank you, Hannah. I'm delighted to be here with you tonight to give you a sneak peek into student life at UNSW. What are the communities like, what the vibe is like, how you can connect with other students, and lots more. My name is Winnie. I'm a faculty recruitment officer here at UNSW Business School, and I'm joined by Lena, who is a fourth year student with us, and she's studying a very popular double degree. It's a Bachelor of Commerce and Bachelor of Laws. Hi, Lena.
Hi, Winnie. Thanks for having me.
No worries. So I'm going to ask you a few questions tonight about your student experience.
Yeah.
How would you describe the current energy amongst business schools at the moment? What's the campus feeling like? Is there an atmosphere? And what's the vibe like?
Well, campus is actually quite lively at the moment, especially at the business school. Clubs and societies have been organising more social and professional events on campus for all business school students. So regardless of what degree stage you're in, whether you're in your first year or about to graduate, there is always something happening for you to be involved in. And it's actually been quite refreshing seeing so many new faces on campus and also seeing large lecture halls filled to capacity. And we haven't seen that in a very long time. So it is quite nice to see that vibe of people and everyone coming together. Your time at university is short and it flies by. So it's great to see students making the most out of it.
Awesome. So do you have a favourite study spot on campus?
I do. So for group study sessions, my go-to spot is the ground level in the business school building. It's actually a new area with a range of different study spaces and flexible booths and things like that, which work really great for when doing group assignments.
Yes.
And then for personal study sessions, you can always find me at the UNSW Law Library.
Oh yes, a lot of our students do go there. It's a great space to study. Besides studying, there's so many ways to connect with people. So for our students who are joining us, how do you make friends?
That's a great question, Winnie. So at UNSW and university in general, the best way to make friends is by joining clubs and societies on campus. We are very lucky at UNSW that we have over 300 to choose from. Some are more professional and then others are a little bit more social. And so joining clubs and societies based on professional interests and personal interests as well really allows you to connect with like-minded students and form connections that will last not only during your degree, but also beyond university. Another option is to also be more heavily involved in those clubs and societies, whether that be joining as a member to attend events, or you can be more heavily involved by joining as a subcommittee member or even joining the executive team. And this will allow students to work more closely with others to organise events and essentially grow the society together, which is absolutely rewarding to do during your time here. On the other side of things, from a more professional perspective, students may choose to participate in domestic and international competitions, and it allows you to connect with students who have similar professional goals as you, and also meet students from other universities and even different countries. If competitions isn't your thing and you're more into sports, join a social sports team on campus. I played futsal last year and I had the chance to meet people outside of my degree and bond over something that was not related to studying at all, which was great.
Totally, I agree with you. And I play hockey at UNSW Hockey Club. This is a
Awesome.
wonderful scarf from the hockey team. And I agree with you. It's such a good way to connect with people, regardless of if, you know, you want to study with them, you want to make friends with them, or you just want to play sport and chill and hang out. So this room that we're in is the Business School Clubs and Societies Lounge. And this is where our clubs get to collaborate, they get to make friends, they get to work together, and it's a really great space for our executives in our business school clubs. So this is awesome. I'm so glad that you mentioned that because it's a favourite of mine. And also, you mentioned the 300 clubs and societies.
Yes.
That's huge. Like, what are some examples of other clubs?
Let your imagination run wild. Anything you think of, there will be a society for it on campus, whether it's the Taylor Swift Appreciation Society, Film Society, Running Society. Can you think of any others?
Food Lovers Society.
Food Lovers Society, Chocolate Society. There's everything on campus. So whatever, even if you have the most niche of interests, you will always find people who will share that same love and desire. So go find those people, meet them, and connect with them. It's a great way to spend your time here. Awesome.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, I do have a question about your experience with professors and mentors at university. Academics can be pretty tough sometimes. So how have you found your experience with them?
My professors at the business school have played a really important role in my career journey. In my second year of university, I had the opportunity to work as a research assistant for Professor Rob Nichols, focusing on international competition law issues. I specifically looked at the big tech companies, so Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, and Microsoft, and analyse the effectiveness of US competition law and Australian competition law in regulating the activities of those big tech companies. And then going one step further to say, well, how can the law actually promote innovation in this space?
That's huge.
It was a really rewarding work to do. I did it over a year maybe. And then my work was actually selected for publication in the Competition and Consumer Law Journal.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I think this is probably my greatest achievement so far at university. It's a highly regarded peer-reviewed journal that's recognised internationally as well. And I definitely would not have imagined my work being published in something like this well before I graduate. And it wouldn't have been possible without the support of my professors at the business school. So I'm very grateful for their help.
Yeah. You've spoken a little bit about the opportunities that you've been given at UNSW. What about for our students? How can they get involved with UNSW Business School? For example, there's Career Accelerator. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how you were involved?
Of course. So Career Accelerator provides students with a range of professional development opportunities. It's open for all students from the moment they enter university until they're about to graduate. Career Accelerator really is a team that stands behind students and supports them throughout their whole time throughout university to really prepare them for employment and life beyond the classroom, essentially. So they host a range of events, including industry talks, mentoring programs, competitions as well, for students to work together and really figure out what are the skills they need to be successful in the future. From a more social perspective, Career Accelerator also hosts Community Wednesdays, and they are a series of community events that are organised in the opening weeks of each term. And it really allows students to have a chat with the team from Career Accelerator and also meet other business students and just connect with like-minded people over the similar goals that they share.
Yeah, it's a really nice vibe for our students to be involved in Community Wednesdays with Career Accelerator. We have an activation every term. Part of that activation involves a spinning wheel where every business school student gets to get their chance at spinning the wheel to win UNSW Business School merchandise. So I have an iPad cover here, which is from the business school. We do business school socks, pens, chocolates, umbrellas, backpacks, and more. And then we also have a really lovely chance for students to add to our community board, which is behind us here as well. So I really do love Community Wednesdays. It's
Definitely.
one of my highlights of every
Love
term.
it.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, there's so many different events and programs at uni,
Yeah.
Community Wednesdays being one of them. Then you also mentioned that lots of clubs and societies do their own, and then
Yeah.
the university will have their own as well, for example, with ARC. So how do you find out about these programs as a student?
Great question. At university, you're juggling information from so many different places, but I guess the best ways to find out about these events is to check your emails regularly for updates from the business school and Career Accelerator. For clubs and society events, I would recommend following their individual pages on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, just to find out about what's happening each term, how you can apply and register and attend those events. And then separate to that, it's also worth mentioning ARC, which is UNSW's main student organisation. And they're essentially responsible for all events and opportunities that are outside the classroom. So when you come to UNSW, sign up as an ARC member and you'll receive emails and updates from them weekly about what is happening on campus each week.
Yeah, they do a lot of fun stuff. And there's also ARC Wellness, ARC Sport. There's a big focus on healthy body, healthy mind
100%.
with ARC. So I really do appreciate them.
You might also see some llamas on campus during Stress Less Week, which is always a highlight of my term.
And fluffy dogs. We love them. Okay, besides the fun stuff, I want to move a little bit to a sort of the serious stuff. So students obviously have to do assessments. They've got some assignments. What does that look like? And what does class look like for our students?
Yeah. So one thing to note about UNSW Business School assessments is that they are designed to reflect the practical experiences and responsibilities that students might encounter in the workforce. So from day one, students are already thinking ahead as to how they can have that competitive edge and advantage before they enter the workforce. So for example, assessment tasks may include business pitches, giving group presentations about certain business issues, or writing business reports. If you study the Bachelor of Commerce, there's also a work integrated learning requirement, which essentially guarantees students practical work experience in an external company where they are able to solve real business issues. And the best part, this actually counts towards course credit. So benefits all around. So ultimately, it's a great way for students to think beyond the theory and the technical skills they're learning and really reflect on how is this going to help me in the future and in future tasks that I might take on later on.
I love that you mentioned the Bachelor of Commerce because it's one of our biggest degrees and work integrated learning is a mandatory part of the Bachelor of Commerce. And I know you mentioned some work experience opportunities. So some of them involve like consulting projects, working with different companies. You could go on a global business practicum, which means you get to work with a company here for about like 8 weeks. Then you get sent overseas to work in that company for 2 weeks, which is an absolute highlight because, well, we help you with the scholarship to get accommodation over there, to get your flights over there, and then you get to work in the office of that company overseas as well. So we've been to Jakarta, Hong Kong,
Thailand?
Yes, we've been to Bangkok and we're going to Seoul soon as well in South Korea, which is, I know, very exciting. So can you tell us a little bit more about the support services at UNSW?
Yeah. I think it's really important to be mindful of those services while studying here. And the student support services at UNSW help address a range of concerns, whether that be academic or more personal and wellbeing issues that might arise during your time here. So for example, from a more academic standpoint, students have the opportunity of booking one-on-one consultation sessions that help with getting support in all areas of business studies. And then from the other side, which is a more personal perspective, students can book one-on-one sessions with a study support advisor, which help them navigate through more challenging parts of the term and more personal experiences that they may be going through and other concerns that they may have in that space. It's very accessible, open to all students, so I would highly recommend using those support services when and if you need them.
Being at uni for the first time can be a bit hard sometimes. It's always hard when you start something new and you've got a little bit of learning to do, a little bit of adjustment. I know a lot of students in the business school study.
Yeah.
They might have a part-time job or a casual job.
Yeah.
And they've also got their social life and they're probably doing extracurricular as
Yeah.
well. And I know you do all of those things. How do students manage that?
That's a great question, and I'm asked that a couple of times as well by future students. I think the most important thing to remember is that each stage of your degree will involve you prioritizing different aspects of your life.
Yeah.
It's impossible to balance everything and be on top of everything all at once. So don't try and do that because it's just simply not possible. The best thing about being a university student is the flexibility that you get when creating your timetable and customizing your schedule for the term. Of course, your academic progress and your degree will always be top priority and your main focus. But separate to that, when you first enter university, you might focus more on being involved in extracurricular activities and joining clubs and societies so that you can meet new people and discover where your interests lie beyond the classroom. And then when you near the end of your degree stage, you may be eligible for internships or vacationer opportunities. So then your priorities might shift and you might cut down on those extracurriculars so that you can focus more on work and preparing for graduation. So personally, what I like to do is before the term starts, I take a moment to reflect and think about what is important for me during this moment of time and then adjust my schedule according to that. And separate to that, one thing I do think is important to highlight is that university has a wide range of opportunities available for student involvement, and it can sometimes be overwhelming. In my opinion, though, it is much more effective to have a few activities that you are really invested in rather than involve yourself and throw yourself everywhere and be involved in everything all at once, which can deplete your energy, and realistically, there is not much time for that either.
Yeah.
So be selective with your time and be mindful of where you're choosing to spend it. And also make sure you're leaving some personal space for your personal life and relationships as well.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I really appreciated how warm and authentic you were, and that you were honest with yourself.
It's a common struggle among students.
Yeah.
I definitely don't strike that perfect balance,
Yeah.
but it's just something to be mindful of always.
Yeah. Thank you. Last question I'm going to ask you is, where is your favourite place to eat on campus or to get coffee?
Oh, you've saved the best question for last, Winnie. I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I have heard that the best places for coffee are Maze, which is next to IGA, and Homeground, which is a new cafe down on Village Green. In terms of food options, it's endless options, honestly. But I find myself gravitating to Yulla Eats on Lower Campus or GYG. Both are amazing.
I love all of those places. And there's amazing food courts on the lower campus, the middle campus, and upper campus. So there's food everywhere that you go. So thank you, Lena.
Thanks,
I really appreciated your answers today. You will see Lena again shortly on our Q&A panel in just a moment. But for now, I'm going to hand back to Hannah in the studio.
Thanks, Winnie and Lena. Shortly, Lena and Kevin are going to join me to answer some of your questions. But before that, I'm going to give you some information about our admissions requirements and entry pathways. You can find the entry requirements for all of our degrees on the UNSW Degree Finder. Head to degrees.unsw.edu.au and search for the program you're interested in to view all entry requirements, including ATAR and IB requirements. This includes double degrees. You can also access our adjustment point calculator here. It's important to remember that UNSW programs don't have prerequisite subjects, but instead have what we call assumed knowledge. This means you don't need to study a certain subject in high school in order to gain admission to a UNSW program. However, teaching will begin in your first term with the assumption that you have studied to the level listed. For example, the Bachelor of Commerce has assumed knowledge of mathematics extension, and first-year courses may have mathematics in them at this level. If you haven't studied the assumed knowledge in high school, you can catch up by using a bridging course and/or taking part in some of the first-year tutoring opportunities like PASS classes. If you don't meet entry requirements for your chosen program, there are a range of alternative pathways you might want to consider, including UNSW College's Diploma of Business, our TAFE pathways, UNSW's PrEP program, and our Indigenous Enabling programs. More information on these pathways are available on the UNSW website. In addition to these pathways, you may also consider beginning your studies in another degree at UNSW and transferring across to your dream degree after you complete your first year. You'll have to achieve a certain mark in your first year of studies, so it's important to ensure you're studying a program that you're passionate about and interested in. If you're interested in studying a double degree, you may not even incur additional study time. UNSW also has the Gateway Admissions Pathway for students who have either attended a gateway school or have a home address in the lowest 25% of economic advantage based on SEIFA criteria. If you meet this criteria, you may be eligible for an early offer or an early conditional offer. For more information and to submit your application, head to gateway.unsw.edu.au. If you don't meet entry requirements for your chosen program, there are a range of alternative pathways you may want to consider, including UNSW College's Diploma of Business, Foundation Studies, and English language courses. In addition to these pathways, you may consider beginning your studies in another degree at UNSW and transferring across to your dream degree after you complete your first year. You'll have to achieve a certain mark in your first year of studies, so it's important to ensure you're studying a program that you're interested in and passionate about. If you're studying an Australian Year 12 qualification, including the HSC or IB, you can apply for your dream UNSW Business School degree through the University's Admissions Centre, or UAC, where you can select up to 5 preferences. Students studying outside of Australia can apply using the UNSW Apply Online portal themselves or via a registered agent. I'm now going to invite Kevin and Lena to rejoin me to answer some of your questions. Remember, you can post your questions in the chat for us or for one of our friendly student advisors to answer. And now for the final event of our evening, I'm joined tonight by 2 very special guests who you've already heard from. So I'd like to introduce, or reintroduce actually, Associate Professor Kevin Liu, who is the Associate Dean Undergraduate here at UNSW Business School, and one of our brilliant current students, Lena. Thank you both so much for joining our whole session, but thank you for joining this panel in particular. Now, those of you at home will have been hopefully submitting some questions into our chat, and we are going to pick some of those to answer tonight. If we don't get to your question, don't worry, we have student advisors on hand who will be able to type away very quickly and answer all of the questions that you are sending through. But to kick us off, I'm going to ask you, Lena, what you're studying and why did you choose that degree?
Thanks, Hannah. So I am in my 4th year and I'm studying a Bachelor of Commerce, majoring in Business Economics, and a Bachelor of Laws. One of the biggest factors I took into consideration when choosing my degree is UNSW's ranking and reputation. For the 2nd year in a row now, the business school has been ranked the #1 business school in Australia, and the UNSW Law School is also ranked 13th globally for law. And so I knew that by joining UNSW and studying here, there would be incredible opportunities for personal and professional growth. On a more personal level, the specific degree choice involved playing to my strengths in terms of the subjects I excelled in during high school. So I took economics and legal studies during year 11 and 12, and I also picked up extension to English. And those subjects really require critical thinking, having an informed opinion of world issues around you, and being able to articulate yourself in a clear and succinct manner. And I found that the commerce law degree combination aligned with that skill set quite well.
That is a very clear and succinct answer. So thank you so much for that, Lena. Kevin, to you now. Can you share what skills and attributes do you think that are the key skills for successful business school students?
Excellent question. I think when we thinking about the skill set the business school students should have, what we have in mind is what do we want the future business leaders, the kind of the portfolio of skills the future business leaders should have. And if we think about it, in addition to business knowledge in specialized area, what we really want the future leaders to have are the problem-solving skills. Because today, in a fast evolving world, we have so many problems from the commercial sector, not-for-profit sector, the public sector. There's so many problems to solve. And to solve wicked, new, challenging problems, that's the key thing we want our business graduates to have. And to solve those problems, we want our students to develop skills that they can communicate with people with wide range of stakeholders, they can lead a team, they can understand the international or cross-culture, they have the cross-culture competency to understand the broader context. And we also want our students to develop skills that be aware of the responsible business practices and have this teamwork, communication, and combine all those things together. We want our students to take the leadership to create a positive social impact. So if you think about that, the combination of the skill set is basically what we put in our program learning objectives. And those are the things also get reflected in our course design. And if you think about solving business problem in the future, it does not focus on just a particular one disciplinary area. They often require students to have a broader kind of understanding of the overall business context. That's why at UNSW, we create what we call the integrated first year. We combine all those kind of things together and give students not just the disciplinary knowledge, but how do we solve problems using evidence-based approach, how do we understand data, how do we understand value creation, and that's how we equip our students to have all those skills.
Kevin, actually, I think that you might have read my notes because that is the perfect segue to my next question, which is actually about the integrated first year. Lena, I know that that is a different thing that UNSW Business School does from other universities in Australia and perhaps across the world. I'd love to hear your first-hand experience. What was it like studying the integrated first year?
Yeah, for me personally, the integrated first year courses provided a very strong indication of the practical tasks and experiences that I am expected to encounter in the workforce. For example, one of my assessment tasks involved working with a superannuation fund, and we were tasked with working with them to figure out how they can engage users to make voluntary contributions into their investment accounts. And then along with that, our professors also taught us how to use a range of coding and data software. And so from the very first year of university, I felt that I already had that competitive edge compared to students in other programs, not only in Australia, but even globally as well. And the integrated first year courses, what I especially liked is the range of class structures and learning styles that are offered. So for example, in a course, you may have a mix of seminars, large-scale lectures, smaller-sized tutorials, and it really caters for all different learning needs. And from those courses, I truly felt like I was part of a learning community where student contributions and insights are greatly valued. And then to top that all off, at the end of my integrated first year courses, I felt that I was in a very strong position to actually make a final decision about my major moving forward and what I wanted to do beyond university.
That's such a good point. Actually, something that I don't think we've covered tonight is that you don't have to choose your major from the first day of uni, do you? So something like the integrated first year is a great way to explore the different majors in the business school. So if you're watching this and you're in year 12 and you're thinking, oh gosh, I don't know if I want to do accounting or business analytics or marketing, don't worry. You have plenty of time to decide and you can actually try before you buy in the integrated first year.
Exactly.
Kevin, my next question's to you. Another thing that we have spoken about this evening is the MyBCom. We did touch on the MyBCom a little bit, but could you give us a little bit of a further explainer of what the MyBCom is?
Sure. So MyBCom is actually one of the key features of our new Bachelor of Commerce design. And it's an award-winning platform that we put there to help students keep track and then develop the graduate attributes we just discussed before. So things like teamwork, communication, business knowledge, right? Global and cultural competence, leadership. All those things, typically, there's no way we can track and then help students to develop those and assess them appropriately. The MyBCom platform provides this central kind of one platform that allows students to keep track of how they develop each of the graduate kind of learning objectives, and by looking at what courses the students have done, and in each course for the assessment they completed, how those the completion of the assessment help them to achieve one of those graduate attributes like teamwork and leadership. And in addition to that, students can also engage in extracurricular activities, things like the students involved in the clubs and societies, competition, and all those things also allow students to keep track of this on the MyBecome platform and give student points. We have course points, we have experience points, and all those things allow students to keep track how they progress and then to achieve those objectives. And in addition to that, the Become platform also have some of the courses there to help students to develop certain skill set and things like ethics, the Excel, all the other things, and also help students to build a professional profile. And how do you sell yourself to potential employers? And all those together is a fantastic platform we developed to help students to achieve those things, to help them become a lot more competitive in the employment market after they graduate.
Absolutely. I know when I'm hiring for staff in our roles and I see a resume and someone says, oh, I'm proficient in teamwork and agile methodology and, critical thinking. It can be really hard sometimes if you don't have those exact examples to back it up. So the MyBecom is just a perfect way for students to really be able to consolidate that information.
And in addition to that, we also try to create a community there, and students can actually join into groups that they study in the one of our 5 courses. And also students can accumulate points by completing courses and extracurricular activities. And those points, very interesting, students can convert that into merchandise, UNSW merchandise. So I think that's probably one of the incentive for a lot of students to engage in those.
I actually have a UNSW Business School Monopoly set that I won
One of the
from
most
the
popular
MyBecom platform, so it's been great fun.
That's your prized possession, isn't it, Lena?
It is. I've got it displayed in my room at the moment.
Wonderful. So when you're not admiring your UNSW Monopoly, what does a typical week in the life of a BCom student look like, Lena?
So the best thing about being a business student and UNSW student more generally is the flexibility that students have when creating and customizing their own schedules and timetables. So weekly commitments for business students may include attending classes, participating in clubs and societies, and also engaging in professional work. In terms of classes, at the beginning of the week, students will normally attend large-scale lectures to introduce the key concepts for that week. And then in the middle of the week, students will go to smaller size tutorials to kind of reinforce those key learnings and work with others in their class on different types of tasks. Students also have the option of attending peer-assisted study sessions, and these are classes that are run by older, high-achieving students who have excelled in that course, and it provides students with a more intimate environment to reinforce key learnings and also ask for advice and tips and other pieces of knowledge for really excelling in the course and in the degree in general. And so I think a combination of those, it's really a matter of students figuring out how they learn best and utilising all those opportunities to figure out what works best for them. And then outside of classes and your degree, students also make time to participate in clubs and society events. So, for example, last year I was acting as the president of the Women in Business Society at UNSW, and I was hosting events pretty much every week, so it was very frequent throughout the term, and those events might occur after business hours or during the day. So overall, it's a very busy life for business students, but it's very rewarding.
It sounds super rewarding, and it sounds like there's lots of different, elements and touch points where you can meet people from various different backgrounds and really form, your support network at university as well. Kevin, another one for you. Lena's spoken about a few of the opportunities that students can take when they are studying at the business school. I'd like to know from you, how can they make the most of some of the work integrated learning opportunities that the business school offers?
I think work integrated learning is an important part. We recognize that it's a crucial part of a degree. Ultimately, we want to prepare our students for the next chapter of their life, which is be able to, achieve the things they like to achieve in the workplace. So in our programs, we provide students a range of work integrated learning opportunities that involve things like from the case team organize things like work integrated learning courses. They can be things involves internship in an organization or working with a group of students solving real industry problems that is provided by an industry partner. And also some of our will courses will take our students to an international destination and to solve problems in those areas as well. And on top of that, we also provide a lot of training opportunities there to help students to develop the employability skills to work in those areas. And the university-wide also provide a range of the WIL opportunities beyond business school. So students want to involve in other WIL opportunities. Central WIL also provide a number of courses there. And some of our UNSW courses also involve the real industry project as well. So students will find that you have a range of opportunities from internships, so you go to work in an organization, as well as we bring the boardroom into the classroom, invite industry partners coming in, provide us with a real authentic problem for students to solve. So the possibilities are endless.
Seems like there's lots of industry-led engagements across a student's life cycle, which is fantastic. Now, we are quickly running out of time, but I do have one final question that I'd like to ask both of my panelists. Lena, I'll start with you and then we can come to you, Kevin, but I would like to know what piece of advice you would give to the students that are watching or any student that is interested in pursuing a business degree in the future.
I think a recurring theme that's occurring right now in our conversation is this emphasis on soft skills and building those transferable skills. And so one piece of advice I would give is to not underestimate the benefit of developing those soft skills as early as possible. Regardless of the future career you go into or the business school degree that you study, you will almost always be asked to demonstrate your teamwork skills, meet tight deadlines, show your creativity, work on your presentation skills, communicate succinctly and effectively. And what students don't realise is that the best way to actually refine those skills is through engagement in extracurricular activities, whether that be debating, sports, public speaking, or even music. And so it is only through those types of activities where students truly understand that it is not just a filler of time, I guess, for now, and just a break from your normal school study, but it's also preparing you for the skills that you need in the future as well. And then in addition to that, don't be afraid to network early and build those professional connections early on. Create a LinkedIn profile, follow updates from companies that you're interested in, and connect with business school students. And it's even better if those students are the ones who actually attended your high school as well, so you get that level of connection with them. We're always here, we're always happy to help and have a chat whenever.
Absolutely. And you, Kevin? Do you have anything to add? That was a really great answer. Do you have anything to add?
I think that's a fantastic answer. The only thing I would like to add here is just be prepared to have an open mind when you come into university, because university, we don't see ourselves just as an education provider, right? We see ourselves as a lifelong learning partner with our students to facilitate that self-discovery process as well as the personal and professional development process. So come to university is not just a place you come to attend the classes. As we discussed here, there are a wide range of things we help students to develop personally, professionally, to find your passion, find the things you like to work, and find your kind of future career pathways. And the university want to engage with all our students. And that's also a great place to come to meet fantastic people. As we just discussed, there are clubs and societies, a range of extracurricular activities. So enjoy yourself here and be prepared to have an open mind and have fun and learn something. We hope you enjoy your life at UNSW.
I don't think that I could say that any better. So with that, we will finish off for this evening. Thank you to everyone who has watched. Thank you to everyone who has submitted a chat. If we haven't answered your question tonight, do not fear. We do have student advisors on hand who will be typing back to some chats, but you can also contact the UNSW Future Students team. Once again, thank you to my panelists. Thank you to all of the guests that have joined us tonight. And we really, really hope to see you at UNSW in the future. Good night.